Today, we're going to talk about a problem that's happening all around us, but it's so quiet you might not even notice it: the slow death of really valuable public data.
Yeah, this isn't about some dramatic server crash. It's much more subtle. It's a slow, silent decay. See, public information, stuff that's paid for by our taxes, is collected for our project and then, well, it just fades away, lost in forgotten folders and dead websites. Today, we're going to uncover this digital graveyard. So let's start with a real-world example that's just perfectly frustrating. It's the Stockholm Archipelago Trail. Now, this was a publicly funded project, and it was supposed to create this amazing hiking experience. But as you can probably guess, something went very, very wrong.
I mean, this just shows you the huge gap between what was planned and what actually happened. Millions of kronor were spent on real physical things: shelters, places to cook. But once the project was finished, the data telling you where these things are or if they were even built is practically impossible to find through any official source.
You know, this isn't just some abstract problem. It creates real frustration for actual people. Hikers are left asking really basic questions. Where can I get water? Are the toilets open? You said there were 135 new signs. Where are they? How do I even get to the trail? These should have simple answers, but the data is completely missing in action.
The thing is, this hiking trail is just one symptom of a way bigger problem. And that brings us to what I like to call the data graveyard, where we can really dig into why this keeps happening over and over again.
Okay, so every single year, public money funds countless projects. They map our environment, they improve our cities, they document our culture. And they all generate massive amounts of data. But here's the billion-dollar question. What happens when the funding dries up and the project team just moves on? Well, this is what happens. The data gets buried, it ends up in a final report, maybe a PDF or some weirdly named Excel file saved on a server somewhere, never to be seen or used again. It's basically dead, a digital ghost of a project that once was. In this picture, it really illustrates the core problem with the mindset. For the project manager, hey, delivering this final file means the job is done. You check the box, you move on. But for the rest of us, for society, this is the exact moment of failure. All that valuable, reusable knowledge gets locked away and starts its slow decay into total irrelevance.
So here's the crucial point. We have been treating data like it's disposable project material when we should be treating it as permanent public infrastructure. It's not about creating a static PDF. It's about creating a live API that other apps can actually plug into. It's not about a forgotten folder. It's about an open, maintained database that people can build on for years to come.
And believe me, this isn't just some philosophical debate. This way of thinking has a staggering cost. We're not just losing files, we are losing huge economic and social opportunities. Just look at this number. A socioeconomic analysis from the Swedish Mapping Authority found that just by making existing public data sets in Sweden open and accessible, we could generate 1 to 2 billion euros in economic value every single year. That's the scale of the opportunity that we are just throwing away. So where does that value even come from, right? It's not magic. This chart, it's in Swedish, but it breaks it all down. The economic benefits hit all these key sectors. For instance, the construction sector, that's Samhällsbyggnad, could save billions with better planning. The tech sector, ICT, could create tons of new services and jobs. It's really about building a more efficient society on a foundation of information that's actually accessible. And this isn't just some niche Swedish issue. The European Union gets it. They've officially defined these high-value data sets across critical categories. You can see a few of them here, like geospatial and mobility data. The EU is actually mandating that this data be made open because they know it's the raw material for innovation in a modern economy. So, how do we fix this whole mess? How do we stop burying data and start bringing it back to life? Well, the good news is we actually know how to do it. It just requires a shift in our approach, guided by a few key principles. The EU's best practices give us a pretty clear roadmap. It all starts with building a culture of transparency. On the technical side, it means giving us data through APIs, not just static files. And crucially, it's about people, working with the folks who actually use the data and assigning clear, long-term responsibility for keeping these data sets alive and well. And you know, when the official channels fail, something pretty amazing often happens. Let's go back to our hiking trail. This is a page from Wikidata. What you're seeing here are volunteers, hikers, mappers, data nerds who took matters into their own hands. They're literally rebuilding the lost data themselves, out in the open, on platforms like Wikidata and OpenStreetMap so everyone can use it. This is what's possible when data is treated like living infrastructure. Imagine an app that doesn't just show a static map, but gives you real-time ferry schedules, information in whatever language you speak, the location of the nearest defibrillator, photos from other hikers who were just there. That's the kind of rich, dynamic experience that an open data ecosystem makes possible.
And this all leads us to the most important takeaway. It's really about a fundamental shift in how we think about the digital world we're all building together.
If you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. Data is infrastructure. It's as vital to our century as roads and bridges were to the last one. We would never build a bridge, throw away the blueprints, and then just stop maintaining it, right? So why on earth do we do that with our data?
Real digitalization isn't about creating more and more files. It's about creating living, breathing information systems that can actually grow and evolve. Our goal has to be making sure that the knowledge we create today is still accessible, still usable, and still valuable tomorrow. So as we build more and more of our world on this foundation of data, we really have to ask ourselves, are we building on solid, reliable infrastructure? Or are we just creating a ghost town of forgotten projects and lost potential? The choice is ours.